We have Manish Sonthalia now, Head of Equities PMS at Motilal Oswal Asset Management, joining us. Manish, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Manish, your thoughts on what's happening, especially in the broader market, the way we have seen this big rally. Do you think that could continue? And how are you participating in this market now?
Well, the juggernaut keeps on rolling. There is no stopping. Every day we are more or less seeing a new high. So unless something deters on the fundamental front or the macro front, we are likely to just continue seeing the markets move like this. I think the next big set of things which are going to impact the markets are the first quarter numbers that will start second week of July. We are very close to that. So that will be one area where one has to watch out for. The same time last year around also we had a lockdown. This time also we are in the middle of a lockdown. So on a YOY basis, how each of the companies would shape up in terms of numbers, the financial sector as a whole also. That would be to a great extent, some of the reasons which can impact the markets or see a correction. But till that time, its party is on, I would say.
Well, I have to get to Reliance simply because, the announcements are so huge. The market's not reacted yesterday or today. Do you think it's like back-ended because you would want to see the green, clean energy vertical start giving money? I would have thought there could have even been some buying because now it becomes an unavoidable for ESG funds as well. How would you look at the stock?
Yeah, so two new areas now. Reliance is now entering the power sector, the green energy initiative and hydrogen cell technologies, etc. These are very futuristic technologies. I think it may just be a precursor to serious reforms happening in the power sector. Of course, all of these things, the positive impact of all of these things are going to be seen back-ended. Markets may be valuing the company more on a near-term basis, which offers less of an upside, maybe a 5 to 10%. But these are really path-breaking initiatives by the company. And obviously, given the track record of execution of Reliance, all of these things will fructify. And obviously, you said also that ESG, that's a very big bearing on all companies today. So it would definitely score out once they have the O2C business getting demerged and some of the ESG initiatives which they have articulated, plus the green energy initiative, hydrogen. Could be a very different company 3-4 years down the line than what we have today.
Okay. Well, Manish, I also wanted your thoughts on IT because Accenture came out with not just good numbers but very strong guidance. In the mid-cap IT space, does it still make sense to buy names like Mindtree, Coforge, or do you think that the story has by and large played out?
No, the story has not played out at all. I would believe that all IT companies would have serious tailwinds going for them for the next 3-5 years. Today, the market wants to believe that the growth is going to be lasting only for the next 2 years. But it could also be, given the commentary of Accenture yesterday, and even what some of the larger IT companies, even some of the mid-cap IT companies are articulating, the cycle can continue for the next 3 to 5 years. So valuations will not be too much of a hindrance because these are mid-cycle valuations. If the growth continues, then these valuations will not have a tendency to grow. And obviously, we're seeing the upping of guidance. You may also see some rupee tailwind coming through. There would be some margin headwinds, but on an overall basis, the sector is very strong for the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, the market slipped a bit, but mid-caps are doing well. Of course, on LIC Housing, there's this news as well now, which the preferential allotment to LIC has happened at 514.25 rupees per share.
So they've got capital.
Yes, so LIC's stake has gone up from 40 to 45%. That was a big trigger which CLSA had mentioned even on the results day, that while the asset quality was an issue, but that was a trigger. Manish, any thoughts on housing finance? Any stock that you like here?
I think all of the housing finance companies are likely to see some good demand coming. That is what I gather from the ground. That June is now is looking up in terms of demand traction, both on the affordable housing. So I think they have been just lying there all the while over the last 3-4 months. So there is some degree of heightened activity in terms of demand pickup. it's likely to manifest itself in increased earnings for housing finance companies. So valuations are not at all prohibitive. So Can Fin Home or LIC, etc. Of course, HDFC, the big daddy, is always there. So I think it's a case of a buy. Valuations are very comfortable across the board.
Okay. Okay, now, this familiar question of metals versus metal consumers. Where would your bets be? I mean, how much can the consumers absorb? We saw Hero raising prices, but, that day when we called the retailers, the FADA guys, they were not, spouting enthusiasm at all. Pretty worried about the demand. So which way will you bend?
I think once in a while, the producers also got to enjoy the supernormal profits, right? It's not always a case that they would be at the receiving end, because, this is one sector which moves in cycles, and today we are in an up cycle. So I would go with the producers. Definitely the metal companies would be bigger beneficiaries. And for once, I think the users of the metal commodities will have to take the hit on the raw material cost, will have to hike prices and so on. So I think the super cycle on metals is here to stay.
Okay, super cycle on metals is here to stay. Well, so it seems like the two spaces that you're bullish on, IT and metals. Anything that we're leaving out? Any other spaces that you like with a, say, 1 to 2 year time horizon?
What I'm not liking from the next 1 to 2 years, right? That is what you're asking.
No, what you do like apart from IT and metals?
So IT, pharma, metals, consumer discretionary, somewhat. That's about it. These 4 sectors. We are overweight on these 4 sectors. We would be liking to be overweight on these 4 sectors in a big way. And financials is more to do with large cap banks, particularly so in the private sector space, and State Bank of India. These would be broadly the sectors where we would be.
Why don't you answer the question that you raised yourself? What are the avoids?
Consumer staples. I mean that's an underweight sector. This sector has done fabulously well over the last 10 years. With or without earnings, the prices have gone up. Of course, we are entering an inflationary environment, so nominal top line growth will move up, but we've got to deal with margins. So, guys who are more on the OTC, healthcare facing front in the FMCG space would tend to do somewhat better, likes of Dabur, Imami, so on and so forth. But, the hardcore FMCG names of soaps and, cooking oils and so on and so forth. I think the sector with the 50p onwards multiples, likely to face headwinds on account of valuations.
Where will your alpha come from? Are you expecting something like an Affle India type of digital varieties to give you the alpha? Will it be once again chemicals which come out of the blue and give you, or ethanol story? Any of these super, unusual stories?
So financials, IT, metals and energy. These 4 sectors would be contributing to the bulk of the profit growth that you're likely to see in FY22, and 1 lakh crore each. This is the sort of profit numbers that are likely to be there from these 4 sectors. So I think it's just trying to be in this space. I think we'll get alpha. So IT, financials, metals and energy.
Got it. Metals clearly dominating right now. The top 3 out of top 4 F&O gainers are all metals. SAIL, Tata Steel and Nalco. SAIL was a standout brokerage report as well. United Spirits, on the other hand, is down about 2.2%. Same thing happened with UB also. After the block, actually the stock fell. Any thoughts on this stock, Manish, United Spirits?
Yeah, this open up trade is likely to play out, but valuations again are quite prohibitive on this name. So, these could be this settling of the accounts of the banks, both UBL and USL. But again, valuations are prohibitive, but there's a reflation trade that's likely to play out. But the stock has moved up from its low. So it's a long-term bet. I don't think too much can happen in the near term on account of the valuations.
Okay. I do want to ask you about this entire FMCG space, purely because the next guest that's joining us is from this space, so you would like to listen into that conversation as well. The likes of, say, Godrej Consumer, Tata Consumer has been doing exceptionally well, hitting new highs. Marico has been sitting at 52-week highs. From this space, anything that you particularly like?
I think Tata Consumer looks interesting because I mean they are going to leverage on technology now. Super app, I mean that could be the big drive from their initiatives on moving the product profile from salts to pulses and all of those things. Plus the possibility of a super, now they have bought into big basket as well. So I think all these things make the stock quite interesting.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. And of course, if with the digital piece, maybe they're going to, get into something much bigger. It's a pleasure speaking with you, Manish Sonthalia. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us information on a bunch of sectors. Stay safe. Have a great weekend as well.
Thanks.
Okay, well, with that, we come to actually, we are continuing the conversation since we ended with FMCG.